All right, guys. So this is the Sales and Business Expansion Clubhouse. So what we go over here is sales and business expansion. Okay, so anything related to sales and business that you're running into that you have questions on, I probably know how to solve. I haven't had a question that I've been stumped on yet. So, whatever I can do to help you out, I'll be happy to get some answers. All right, cool. So first, I want to kind of just go over what my story is and how I got involved in like sales and business and all that. So for anybody here that doesn't know, I'm Dylan Caudullo. I run a closer agency called Source Force Militia. And what we do is we have a training program, and then we also place people in opportunities. So it's kind of like an employment agency as well. So how that works is it's done at a gradient. So there's multiple levels to this training, and the higher up in the ranking system you go, the better access to more opportunities you're going to have, and the better you're going to be able to close. Okay, so it's all done at a gradient. So if you're super pro, we got stuff for you. If you're just getting started in sales, we got something for you too, to work your way up to that professional level. So that's what I'm doing now. So let me talk a little bit about how I got here. So I grew up in kind of, I guess you could say, a broken home in a way. I won't share the war stories too much, but basically, once I turned 18, I decided to start selling drugs and ended up going to prison for a couple weeks. And while I was there, I just made a decision that I was going to turn things around. Like I had this whole family situation that was kind of crazy, had a pretty interesting upbringing. What wasn't the best childhood ever, but basically I just decided that despite all of the things that I did to myself, to other people, and the things that I felt like were done to me, I was gonna turn my life around and really make things go right. So I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what exactly I was going to do, but I was there in a prison cell telling myself, I'm going to be an inspiration to people. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to turn my life around, and I'm really going to have a huge impact on the world by sharing my story and actually like helping people. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know I was going to get into sales, but that was the starting point, was the decision. Okay, so I got out. I started buying a bunch of courses, buying this and that, learning about sales, learning about marketing, things of that nature. And then it's funny, I got my first sales job after I told my probation officer that I was looking into sales, and she's like, oh, I have somebody that's hiring for sales jobs. And they're okay with people being on probation and having all this legal trouble. So that was interesting. I was selling Sawzall blades, which is like a tool that contractors use, and basically we would sell boxes of those, just boxes of blades. Okay, so I was just cold calling contractors. They weren't like opting in, they weren't showing any interest. I was just going on like Better Business Bureau, Yelp, and calling these contractors out of the blue and selling them boxes of blades. So it wasn't really any sales training. They just kind of handed me a script that said, here you go. We don't think you're going to be good at this. We think you're going to fail, but you're welcome to prove us wrong. So basically I was terrible, but just out of sheer work ethic, I was able to, get some sales and make some income. Okay. So I would just show up earlier than anybody else did and start making calls, and then I would stay later than anybody else did. And that was, the first kind of stable datum that I had, was to just work harder, right? So that's what kind of gave me a bit of an advantage there. So eventually I found this tool that was like an auto dialer that would just allow me to like rapid fire dial numbers. It was great. So then I started making like 400 calls a day. Became one of the top producers there. I wasn't quite there just because I didn't have the proper training. I didn't really have this natural ability for sales like some of these guys did here. But I was one of the top producers within like a couple months. having no prior sales experience, which was pretty great, just based off of sheer output. Right, it had nothing to do with skill because I was terrible at the time. I sounded like a robot. So, anyways, I took some of my money and I invested it in this marketing agency program, and this guy's main thing was sales. I actually invested in a bunch of programs that were okay, but didn't really teach me anything about sales. So this guy taught me how, like, some fundamentals of sales. Honestly, I watched the recordings of his like demonstrations over and over and over again every single night for like months, and pretty much duplicated what he had until I could put my own twist on it and, you know, do more of my own like sales presentation. Okay, so that worked all right for me. I got some clients through my marketing agency, and that was going okay, except for the fact that my retention rate was terrible because I didn't make good ads. I didn't really get very good results for people, so people would just drop off, obviously. So with this mentor that I had, he actually flew me out to San Diego after I upgraded to his Inner Circle program. And basically once I came out there, he made me an offer. He was like, you know, I could just buy your clients off of you, outservice them, and then you can just do sales for my company. And I was like, okay, whatever, let's do that. Sounds like the best bet. Was only supposed to go out there for a week, and you know, I was still on probation at the time, so the likelihood of me even going out there in the first place was like pretty slim. Did that, and then basically while I was out there, I made a decision that I wanted to stay a week longer, and so I wrote a proposal to them. Then they approved it, which was nothing short of a miracle. And then basically when that happened is when COVID started blowing up. And so my plane ticket got canceled. So then I was like, okay, well, I need to stay out here until the planes open back up where I can actually fly back, whatever. Eventually, they just told me like, hey, you can stay out there. You can, you know, you're doing well, you're doing awesome, and, you know, just do your thing and then you'll come back later, right? Ended up that I was able to graduate from that program virtually, which again is insane. Like, nobody does that. But really what happened was I just made the decision to stay out there because I knew that it was a much better environment for me than back home. I just had people I was hanging out with, and, you know, my family wasn't like me, super driven, motivated, wanting to do huge things. Everybody's telling me to relax and, you know, take it easy, that type of thing that entrepreneurs often hear. So basically, I just decided that I was going to stay in San Diego, and the universe, like, literally, I felt like at the time was moving around that decision that I made, right? Like, what a perfect time for a freaking pandemic, but it sounds terrible. But basically, I got to stay out here. I ended up getting the skyrise apartment, started putting myself out there, promoting myself, and started attracting a lot of people that wanted to learn from me, right? Different closers and entrepreneurs, people that wanted to be successful by doing something online, something where they didn't have to work their 9-to-5 jobs. So started doing that, had a lot of success. Basically what happened was I started getting all this attention, and then my mentor actually created a program for closers. Okay, so I started selling that, started doing pretty good. I met one of my mentors, and she actually works for my company now. Her name is Jules, and she started teaching me this sales technology that really works, right? It's so simple, but it just works. And anybody here that knows me or is enrolled in one of my programs or whatever, this is what you're learning now. It's exactly what I learned right before I just blew up in sales. So essentially, I started learning this stuff, and I already had a bunch of people that were contacting me because I was doing so well with promotion and getting myself out there and communicating with a ton of people. Once I got those skills in, once I actually got some workable sales technology, like, it was just game over. So I did $1 million in sales in the first 45 days that I was selling this brand new program. I was doing all the prospecting and all the closing on my own. And then after that 45 days, I started building a team around me of different prospectors, appointment setters, people that can load up my calendar with just qualified people. So I didn't have to do the qualifying anymore over the phone. I didn't have to talk to a bunch of broke people. I would just talk to people that had money, that were qualified, and that were knowing that they were going to make an investment, given that everything I showed them actually made sense. So started doing that, and then reached a point where I did $2.3 million in sales in a single month. With this team, they started closing deals, and I started upselling them on like the bigger deals. And basically, there was just some things that were going on in the company that I didn't really necessarily agree with. And I decided to start my own company where I do sales training, I place people in jobs, and I am fully responsible for the success of people that partner up with me or that join my programs, things of that nature. So, I just decided that I wanted to take full responsibility, quit that job that was making me ridiculous commissions every month to do something that honestly I didn't know how to do, but I was willing to figure it out. The point is I decided to make it go right, and that's what ended up happening. I made it go right. Now I have an amazing company with an incredible team. Literally, I've never seen a team that just generates the power that mine does. I have some amazing people that have been in business, in sales, or whatever they specialize in for longer than I've been alive, right? So I'm only 22 years old. So basically built an amazing team, an absolute powerhouse, and the success rate of our program is absolutely insane. So if you go to my bio, you'll see it's sourceforcemilitia.com/wins to actually check out those wins. But for every single person that's graduated through any of the levels in my programs has had some kind of ability gained or something that improved in their life as a result of doing the program. So, I've never seen an actual 100% success rate before my program, but it's pretty incredible. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that. So that's my story. Just wanted to let anybody know that this is their first time hearing about who I am or what I do, or your first time in the clubhouse. So with that being said, I want to open up the floor and have you guys ask any questions or say anything you want to say. So I'm going to invite these few other people in here to speak. And who wants to go first? Who's got some questions for me related to sales, business expansion, or me?
I have a question actually.
Sure.
This is, I guess it's kind of like your wisdom on this, or your advice, because I've had a goal for a long time about just trying to have that first 10K month, right?
Yeah.
Since I was like your age, bro, and I realize how old that makes me sound when I say that. I was like 21.
Yeah.
When I made the decision to want to achieve that. I've invested in a lot of programs. I've tried so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not new to sales, but of course, learning skill closing now. And right now, I'm doing all I can. Like I'm training, drilling like every day. Reading books. So I feel like I'm on the right track. But is there something that maybe I could be doing that I'm not doing, or like what advice can you give to me to make sure that I'm hitting that 10K like as quickly as possible? Because I've made so many mistakes, and I set a goal of hitting income this year, and I'm not like playing games with this. Like I'm taking this super seriously. So,
I know.
Can you like direct my steps? Is there anything more that you see that I could be doing, or what do you have to?
100%. So
I second that completely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So for you, David and Michael, basically, I would just keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up to those drills every day and just keep studying. Make sure you don't slow down, because the rate that you guys are improving is absolutely ridiculous. And, just don't get too busy to let that successful action out, right? Like you're gonna have like a lot of meetings, you're gonna have like a lot of sales calls to take and things like that, but you need to keep your enhancement time in. So as far as what you're not doing right now, you guys are on the right track. Right, you guys are, learning the same technology that I learned and that I use, and you're doing drills every day. So really, you're on the right track right now, 100%, and you just need to keep that up. Like the only way that it wouldn't work is if you just like let off the gas and like, oh, I'm too busy, I have too many meetings, I have this, I have that. Of course, every once in a while, you're going to miss a drill call because you have like some kind of really important call. That's totally fine. Just don't make it like a normal thing that you're going to be like too busy for your enhancement time, because that's extremely important. Even for myself, I still put in a lot of enhancement time right now. Like obviously I know a lot, especially for my age, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And, that's why I continue to do my enhancement time every weekend from 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. I'm studying and improving myself. And so basically you guys just got to keep those successful actions in and you're going to do really well.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that with me. Like, I feel like over the years, like, what I haven't had to like help me hit my goals is some type of like guidance, or like a mentor, right? Like I'm learning from you and your program and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So over the years I've had to do a lot of like trial and error and made tons of mistakes, lost lots of money, man. So
yeah,
I'm on the right path. It's good. So yeah, thanks for sharing that with me.
Boom, baby. Yeah, of course, man. And it's so true. Like, you can make so many mistakes and lose a lot of time or money trying to figure stuff out on your own. But when you have people in your corner that have done what you want to do or something similar, the process is just way faster and you have a much better chance for success. So good job on that, man.
I appreciate it.
For sure. All right. Who else got some questions for me?
Yeah. Well, I guess my question would be, I was going to ask him like what it was like getting his first sale, because I remember I called him after his first sale and it seemed like he was kind of like monotone. I think it was just like that. He was kind of like still in shock that like it even happened, because it's like, no, there's no way, I closed my first deal type
Sure.
thing. That type of effect. What would you say to someone that hasn't closed their first deal yet? And, that sale, that transaction might seem like so far away for them. Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you just need to know that what you're doing is going to work out if you keep doing it, right? You might not get your first sale tomorrow or today. I mean, you could. It might take a week or a couple of weeks. You don't really know. As long as you stay persistent, like all you got to do is contact people. Like, forget all the skills, forget all that. I mean, like obviously you need to have skill and you need to improve your skills in order to do more and to do better and to be better. But honestly, if you contact enough people in sales, this is the way I started off. I just contacted so many people that things just started kind of falling into my lap. So that's really what I would recommend. Just know that when you contact so many people, somebody's just going to say yes, regardless of how good or bad you are. So that's really the most important thing, is just contacting as many people as you can. Once you really get established, once you're really good, once you're very skilled, then you can start building a team under you and have them close the smaller deals, have them talk to people that are qualified or unqualified and we don't know yet. And then you just get set up with people that are qualified, that do have money, that do have X, Y, and Z. And so then you can just start focusing on like the bigger deals. But, starting off, you just need to contact as many people as possible and things are just going to fall in your lap essentially.
Right on.
Yeah. All right, cool. Who else got a question? Let me actually.
I have a quick comment.
Okay, cool.
This is Juan.
Juan.
First time speaking up, man. It's good. I love the room, man. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And what do you do exactly?
I'm a sales manager. I've been in insurance here in Sacramento, California.
Oh, cool.
I've been doing sales. I'm a sales junkie. I've been doing insurance for over 15 years now.
There we go.
But I just wanted to comment on that last question. I believe it came from David, right?
Yeah.
What do you do?
That was Adam actually.
Adam, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what advice would you give to somebody that still hasn't made their first sale? And my advice, what worked for me is you have to have a mentor. And I think that's already been covered is you're gonna fall down and you're gonna scrape your
pissed off, and you're gonna hate, you're gonna question whether you should stay in sales. And you gotta have a mentor that's gonna keep you positive and enthusiastic about your product, right, and about what you're doing in your career. But the other thing I was gonna say is you also gotta have a really good support group around you. You have to have positive-minded people around you, because when you don't make those sales and you're trying so hard, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to tell you maybe sales isn't for you, and they might even actually tell you, you're wasting your time, and they might be very negative.
Yep.
Just having a mentor and having a good support group around you, and that'll help you not only make your first sale, but help you grow when times are tough.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Having a group and a support system will, really push you through those rough times, because there are going to be rough times in sales, right? Whether you're amazing or you're bad, whatever, there's definitely going to be some like rough spots, and having that group is going to help you stay extroverted and not become like introverted, essentially. Like if you're just doing it all alone somehow, say you are trying to get into a company and it's just you all by yourself doing sales, and you don't have a group or like a mastermind or whatever to kind of, share your experience with or go over different things or drill with, something like that, some kind of group activity, it can definitely get really hard because you get introverted. You just start thinking about your own thoughts and feelings and things like that. So it can definitely get hard if you don't have that group. So that's very important. So thank you, Guan. Okay, cool. And then I wanted to kind of build upon the whole getting your first sale thing as well, because I actually have a process for initiating relationships, whether it's a sale, you're doing prospecting, or if you're looking for business partners, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for whatever, any kind of relationship, really. You can use this 4-step process and it'll actually work all the time. As long, like it's not going to work on every single person, because they might not need anything from you. They might not want anything from you. But if you contact a lot of people and you use this framework, it works. So step number 1 is to find the people that you're looking for. So you want to actually like define and find the people that you do want to help, or that you do want to sell, or whatever. Okay, the people that you want to be in communication with. Then you need to introduce yourself. So say you're messaging someone on Facebook or whatever, and you want to sell a product for them. Okay, say you want to sell their company's products, right? You introduce yourself. You say, hey, I am Dylan, and I'm a high ticket closer, and I'm looking for a commission-based opportunity. I'm very good at communication, and I have a lot of training under my belt. And then that's step number 2, right? You could also include step number 3 in the same message, but step number 3 is query. So you want to basically identify some kind of need or want. You want to actually find out what they want, because they don't really care about what you want. They care about what they want. So you want to find out what they want so that you can find out what they care about, so you can actually give that to them, which is step number 4. Once you found something that they want, something that they care about, number 4 is to deliver. So you deliver whatever it is they want. So say, you're looking for a sales job. So your query might be, what are you looking for in a sales closer? What are you looking for in appointment setters? What are you looking for in whatever, somebody that represents your company? Then they're going to tell you, say it's like, I want somebody that is good at communication, somebody that understands my product and is willing to learn about it, and somebody that is very persistent and works hard, right? That's pretty vague. Probably going to get a little more specific than that. But then you tell them why you have those qualities and examples of those qualities in step 4. So when you're delivering what it is that they want, you're giving them examples, you're showing them that you have what they want. And then you book an appointment, you get on the phone with them, and then that's a whole nother process. But that's essentially how you can initiate any kind of relationship through the internet or in person or whatever. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, that was super big. I mean, some of these programs out there that are, selling the dream of like high ticket clothing, they make it seem like it's so easy to just like contact the business owner and get places to close it. They make it seem like people, business owners are pushing each other over and trying to, get someone that's gone through a video training course and maybe done some role plays with other people. But the fact of the matter is like, a lot of these guys, and I've talked to, probably over, 100, 200 of these guys that have been in these types of programs, and they all say the same thing. They either don't get a response back or they get the response that, these guys are looking for someone with experience. So it's like, well, how the hell am I ever going to get experience, right? And so I had this kid reaching out to me, and he was basically begging me to give him, some sort of closing opportunity. And I was like, look, dude, at this time, I don't have anything that I could just place you in right away, especially without having, the proper training. But what I would do is, go out, like you said, find needs and wants, identify needs and wants. Don't just, do what everyone else is doing and beg these guys to give you a chance because, you're amazing at communication or you have what it takes, right? Don't just beg them. Like, get in communication, figure out, like,
find out what they want,
Yeah.
It's,
I don't think he took my advice because he's just been begging me nonstop.
Yeah.
He didn't take my advice. He couldn't duplicate.
No, he's not duplicating. So, yeah,
Don't be that guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't just go out there and tell people what you want. Find out what they want. Be interested in people and what they actually want. And that way, when you give people what they want, then you're going to get what you want as a result of that. It's ultimately how it works. So, yeah, that's very important. And as far as, you mentioned that there's a lot of people that are just selling courses and things like that and promising that they're going to get a certain results. It's really interesting to me. There is a lot of sales courses out there. Even these like sales gurus that have these what look like amazing stats. I'm not gonna like drop any names, but they have these millions and millions of dollars in sales, and then you look at their program or you look at like the things that they actually teach, and it's this weird like psychology, manipulative, like weird stuff that just like it's not real. It's not like a real communication cycle. Like literally the way that I do sales and the way that all my people do sales and the way that I teach it, it's super simple. It's not complicated. It just needs to be applied. That's why like my training it revolves around the actual application. So the drills, the actual video content in my program is very small. Like an entire level could take about 10, 15 minutes to watch through completion. But the drills, the actual application of it to get your certification in order to ascend to the next level, like you need to actually do these drills and get a checkout from me or one of my training supervisors to make sure that you're actually duplicating correctly, that you're able to apply the information. And that's where the actual competence comes into place, because you could know something, right? You could spit out information about something, but if you're not able to apply it, then you're not competent and you're not going to be able to actually get results with whatever it is that you're learning. So, I really understand the way that people actually learn and can apply things that they learn, right? It's not like the school system where you're taking tests and spitting out information. Like, I really understand how people learn and are able to get results out of the things that they learn. So, yeah, it's definitely a unique perspective I have from the mentors that I've been taught by and just the way that I've learned myself. But yeah, I think it's interesting. There's a lot of sales programs out there that just teach this, all these different tactics, and like, all you have to do is activate their anchor or something. Like you like touch them on the shoulder and then they want to buy. It's all this like weird stuff that I really don't think works. I think sales is honestly something that's called like a suppressed subject. So a suppressed subject is a subject that is no longer workable. And what I mean by that is if you go to school, right, you learn geometry, like they don't really give you ways to apply geometry. Right? Back when it was created, you could actually apply geometry, like you could use it in real world situations, and it was actually like useful. Same thing with some things that Sigmund Freud teaches or taught when he was alive. Right? I think he's pretty much like the father of psychology. It was workable, like whatever form of therapy he had was workable when he created it, but it's been twisted to a point by like academias that to a point where it's no longer workable. Like that therapy.
Why do they twist it, Dylan?
Why do they twist it?
Yeah.
Well, this is going to try not to get too deep here because we're talking about sales and business expansion, not, conspiracy theories. But essentially, there's people that are in charge or have power that don't really want people to have knowledge or be able to have greater abilities or improve in life because they think that if other people get better than them, then that means that they're going to die essentially, or they're going to go broke, or they're not going to be successful if other people become more successful than them. Well, that's not the case. That's actually an insane way of thinking, but that's basically the way that some people in power or some people that are in charge think, and so that's why that happens. And we're kind of getting into like a bit of a deeper topic here, but it's honestly one of the biggest reasons why the world has terrible things going on. It's why there's like kids that are doing drugs and doing degrading things and not actually learning or doing anything that's productive. It's because they're not actually getting educated. They're going to school, but they don't get educated. They can't actually use the information that they're learning. Oftentimes it confuses them more than it actually helps them and just sets them off the rails more than if they were just to not go to school at all. So it's pretty interesting, a little bit of a controversial topic, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Somebody's raising their hand. Let me let you in. Hey, Steve.
I'm new to the high ticket. I just did one of those courses you were just recently talking about, and I've been doing the organic thing, reaching out. The big run-in that I've been coming into, and you that 4-point advice is great. I'm going to use it. But it seems like it's either everybody's looking for at least a 7-figure closing experience, which people coming out of is not going to have, or you run into agencies that all want to be, it's almost like pay to play. Not knocking. I'm going to pick on you since I know you have an agency.
Yeah.
I reached out to you saying, hey, there's high ticket, no experience needed. Turn around, you guys want me to train with you. I understand. It completely makes sense, but it seems to be that pay to play type situation to get your foot in the door. Now, I did land a outbound cold calling gig, so I took it. I'm using it to gain constant experience, and it does have a closing opportunity once you start setting enough appointments. They do move you into the inside to closing. But my question is, how else can we get into companies when we're first starting out, get that experience? Maybe slightly lower ticket companies. I mean, what's the best advice you can give on something like that?
Sure. Yeah.
Without having a training.
Okay, cool. So there's 2 solutions to that. Okay, so number 1, I mean, you still follow the same framework, right? Say you're on the 3rd step, query. You ask, what are you looking for? And they're like, I need someone that has 2 years of sales experience, let's say, right?
Okay.
And I said, oh, okay. And then you say, oh, okay, that totally makes sense why you would want that. I'm assuming because you want somebody that communicates well and that is fully competent in the area of sales, correct? And then they're probably going to say yes. And then you say, okay, awesome. Well, I am great at communication and I'm fully competent in the area of sales. And, I can definitely deliver what it is that you want. So when's a good time to hop on a call? And you do that. You basically, you have to close it, right? That's like your first sale is getting your first gig. I mean, there's other ways around it. For example, if there's some agencies out there that, basically don't really deliver what's promised, but I mean, you could check out the wins on my page just to see the actual success stories. Because I do have literally a 100% success rate with my program. But basically, if you want to get your own gig without joining like my agency, or if you want to get your own gig with no experience, then what you need to do is you need to close them on it. If you really don't need the training, then you gotta close the business owner, right? And if you can't close the business owner, then maybe
Yeah, I believe in reinvesting in myself, but I've already dropped some money in. Now money's a little tight. I'd like to get some income coming in.
Of course.
Then go for that high ticket coaching or mentoring like's been talked about. I totally believe it. Yeah. That will get me to a higher success rate, higher ticket clients. But it's getting the foot in the door that's the tricky part. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's mentioned that or ever said that either.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's definitely like a pretty common thing. So I think really in the beginning, if you don't have money to invest in like a program that's actually going to work, I haven't seen anybody else's, but mine really work for the majority of people. But say you don't have money, you want to make some money first. Right. What I really recommend is just using that 4-step process. Really focus on getting good at prospecting instead of closing in the beginning, because what a lot more companies are looking for rather than a closer is they're looking for more prospects. Most companies they don't really have prospects for you to close. So for you to be able to be a prospector and actually find ways to either revive the list that they currently have, or find your own leads, whether it's through like email blasts or, reaching out to people on Facebook groups. There's a bunch of ways to do it, which I'm actually creating a little prospector course about. But essentially, I would recommend getting good at prospecting first and really learning about that. And then once you have a ton of prospects, then you can just close them on your own, right?
Yeah.
Because it's
thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Because any company that has a ton of inbound leads, or they're even going to book qualified appointments on your calendar through their ads or whatever, they got people filling out applications. 99% of the time, they're going to want somebody that's experienced to actually handle those things. As where, there's a lot more companies that don't have that if you're to come to them and say, hey, I'm going to generate you leads, or I'm going to revive the leads that you currently have, what do they have to lose, that's what I'd recommend.
So the company I'm with that's having me do the cold calling and generating my own leads is probably a great start, and it does have the opportunity to learn how to close those leads also. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. As long as your product that you're selling really solves something that people really want to solve, right?
Okay.
Let me ask you this: what kind of product are you selling right now?
It's for real estate brokers. It's basically the system is a filtration system that gets the agent warmer leads and gets rid of the window shoppers and tire kickers, so they can end up contracting them and turning them into client. Yeah,
that sounds good. Based off what you've seen, is that something that they want, or that they consider as a solution that they really need?
I'm in week 1, so I've only
Okay.
The company I work for is actually offers a 10-day free trial. So all they do is put in for some of the ad spend, and then we contact them at the end of the 10 days, and then that's our opportunity to close. And it's 6 to 8K close with a 20% commission. So I can hand it over to an experienced closer and split the commission.
Yeah.
Or if I want, I can try to close them and take the whole 20%.
Sweet. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a bad gig. You know, it definitely, it's a good starting gig. Like once you get really good at closing, obviously you'll have more, once you have a production record or, you know, whatever, once you get your skills up, like you could definitely look into an opportunity that would give you more inbound leads. But what I do, something that I teach people to do as well, is build a team of prospectors. That way you're not like effect to the company, because even if a company's generating inbound leads or they're putting appointments on your calendar, that could stop at any day, right? They could decide that they want to cut the ad budget for some stupid reason. They could, Facebook could shut down for, like, Mark Zuckerberg gets like sued and then he has to change something on the Facebook ads. Like, you know, anything could happen. So you don't want to be effect to the company that you're working for. When you build a team of prospectors that's going to be, you know, filling up your calendar or even closing the smaller deals on their own, that's going to put you at cause, and that's going to make the company dependent on you instead of you being dependent on the company, which is huge.
So investing in some virtual assistants to get you lead lists is a good idea to go, or a good way to go?
Yeah, make sure that you have a successful system yourself first. So make sure that you have something that's working, and then you write that up, and then you can give that to a virtual assistant to do it for you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for all the help. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right, cool. Anybody else have any questions? Anything you want to know?
I do.
Yes, Adam.
Where do you see this industry going? Not sales in particular, but like the whole like online, remote sales rep, high ticket closer.
Where do I see the whole industry going? Well, to be honest, it's super vague, right? Because high ticket sales is like a lot of different businesses. So it's kind of hard to say, but in terms of, these internet marketers and coaches and gurus and things like that, even like software companies, right? Like what's considered high ticket sales isn't even that substantial. Like there's a lot of like marketers and gurus and these types of people that think like, 10K a month and I'm set. 10K a month for an entrepreneur, for a business, is not a lot of money. That's like dirt, basically. And so when you compare these internet marketers and coaches and consultants and people like that to bigger industries like, construction or supplies or, wholesale type stuff, it's really small potatoes. So in terms of, Source Force Militia and the closer agency that we run, I'm more so looking to go in the direction of working with these bigger industries. Of course, I'm still going to help out the coaches and consultants, gurus, software creators that have really good products that I believe in. They're super ethical and they're willing to really just like over deliver for people and make people really happy. Obviously, I'm going to be willing to work with them. But for like 90% of the people that actually contact us, or that somebody's contacted that's like a business that has like this internet marketing business, we actually deny for like a closing partnership because we only want to work with people that are up to our standards and that are higher level than the average person. So, to answer your question, it could go a lot of different ways. Depends on which high ticket industry you're talking about, because the high ticket industry is a lot of different industries. But I know for us, we're only going up, and that's for sure.
Upset, baby.
That's right. All right. Anybody else have any questions for me? Anything you want to know? anything you're running into in terms of sales or business?
Yeah, I mean, this one is a pretty generic question, but I'm just curious, like,
Yeah.
what you have to say on it, right? Like, I've read books and watched some videos, and everybody has, like, their own, I guess, way of answering this, but what do you think prevents people from achieving the success that they want?
That's an interesting question, and I have probably a different answer than what people are expecting. So I think what prevents people from doing what they want is other people, honestly. Not other people in terms of like there's no way to prevent it, but like say I have a certain goal and then I choose to have people around me that don't agree with that goal, or they don't believe that I can achieve that, or they're telling me that I can't do that, right? And then it seems like the majority opinion is like, I'm freaking crazy and I can't do this and I can't do that. Consciously or unconsciously, I would start to either have back off on taking action on that goal, or I wouldn't work as hard, or even if I'm telling myself like it's going to work out, if I have people around me that are like that, I'm going to be affect to some type of a degree. So I think the thing that really stops people in that sense is just being effect to other people, not being the cause point of, what they're doing in their life, and putting up with things that they don't need to put up with. That's what I think.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks for sharing.
No doubt. All right. Oh, Steve, it's really hard to hear you. It's very quiet. Yeah, so here's how it works. I'll explain first, like the abilities that are gained in the first couple levels, and then when we actually place you, okay? So level 0 basic, you will have the ability to communicate with buyers, right? And not just the ability to communicate, but or not just the ability to talk, but actually communicate and exchange ideas with the buyers and, talk in an agreeable way. Okay, so that's level 0 basic. We could get you into gigs where you basically be doing prospecting there. So that's that. Level 1 ensign. The ability gained is getting buyers highly interested and qualified. Okay, so essentially what this means is you're able to get people interested in the product and qualify them for the close. So you become a very high-level appointment setter through this program. Okay, so there we could place you with different companies that have inbound leads that have good products. We wouldn't necessarily have you closing right then and there. Okay, and then level 2, lieutenant, that's when you get the ability to handle objections and close buyers. So we go over the whole closing process and teach you how to handle the 2 types of objections that there are, how to spot them, and then how to handle them, and close deals 9 out of 10 times once they're actually qualified. So then we can really place you into any gig that we have available. And if you want to check out the gigs that we do have available, if you go to my bio, let's see, which link is it here? Oh, if you go to sourceforcemilitia.com/for-closers, you can actually access the success stories and different opportunities that I have available. We have an entire list of 12 to 14 different products that you can check out, okay? Okay, cool. Yeah, of course. All right. Anybody else have anything else before I wrap this up here? We all good? All right. Well, I want everybody to hear, if this is your first time here, go ahead and follow me on Clubhouse and stay updated. I usually do these every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Tuesday at 11 a.m. So you can put that on your calendar. That's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard. So you can put that on your calendar if you're looking for opportunities or you're looking to get better and improve yourself. Just go to sourceforcemilitia.com/for-closers And if you want to reach me, you can either DM me on Instagram. You can click on my bio, or you can email me at vip@dylancaudullo.com. So you look how to spell my name in my bio if you want. So with that being said, everybody have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next one.
Peace out, y'all.
Bye-bye.